Is there a deal, and is your party united what's in it?
Well, there isn't a deal yet. What there is very good progress, and we're going to keep at it and continue to work on that progress, and that's why we're here today.
Michelle O'Neill at the Sinn Féin Ardèche at the weekend said that she hoped that this talk would conclude this week. And I think Tom Murphy said that he hoped that Michelle O'Neill will be Deputy First Minister. Do you see this process concluding this week? And what can you tell us about the outline of any deal in discussion?
Well, we would have hoped that the process could have completed last year, Mark, actually. As you all know, we fought an election last March. We wanted to come back in here immediately to get about the programme for government, which we had set up. But Sinn Féin decided to have a long list of demands, and so we've been in negotiations since then. But we want to make sure that what we get is a good deal for all of the people of Northern Ireland, and one that is sustainable into the future, because it's quite clear to me that the people of Northern Ireland do not want to be back in this place anytime soon.
Where exactly are the pressure points? Where are the issues of disagreement at this stage? And what was the tone of the number of internal party discussions you had today?
Well, the tone was very good. As you can see, my colleagues are all with me here today. We continue to have those conversations, and we'll continue to have conversations with Sinn Féin around the outstanding matters, and indeed with our own government as well. We want devolution. Let us be very clear about this. This party has always been the party of devolution for Northern Ireland, because we believe in it. But as I said, it has to be an accommodation that is good for everybody, and it has to be an accommodation that is sustainable. I think that is key.
Last question, David. Arlene, you said there has been some progress. What do you put that down to? Why from the public view, the sudden movement? Is there a different spirit within the talks? Is there a sense of cooperation? What do you put this movement down to?
I hardly think it's sudden progress, I have to say. If the public are frustrated at the pace of progress, we all are as well, because we want to get back in to dealing with the issues that the public care about. Health and education, bringing more and better jobs to Northern Ireland. That's what we want to be dealing with. But in order to do that, we have to have a deal that is supported by everybody, and we have to have a deal that is sustainable into the future. And those are key tests for us in this process.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Marla, can I ask you, would you be confident to go to your grassroots with what is on the table now? And do you believe that the DUP are in the same position?
Well, we have made it very clear that we will lead from the front on this. We believe that functioning institutions, that power sharing, grounded in respect, is in the best interests of all our people across all communities. We believe that we are close to an agreement which certainly we can put to our grassroots and to the community as a whole. We're not exactly there just yet, but let me repeat, there is nothing insurmountable. If there is the political will, to reach an agreement, we certainly have that determination and that resolve. This has been a long process. We're now, 13 months in this position. The issues have been important. The issues have been difficult in some respects, but they were never beyond resolution. So what we want now is to finalise a deal that delivers on the core issues that have been clear from the get-go. But be in no doubt that we are serious about functioning power sharing. We're serious about a democratic platform that serves all of our people. We're serious about working in good faith, in partnership with others, and be in no doubt that we expect the same leadership and the same political will to be demonstrated by our partners in unionism, by the DUP and indeed by the two governments. And this is the week, and this is the time now to decide. This is the time to decide.
Thank you very much. First question. Mary Lou McDonald said up in Parliament Building she wants this deal in relation to power sharing completed this week. Do you think that's a realistic timetable? And secondly, Taoiseach, on Brexit, the agreement from December was supposed to be bulletproof. Is it still bulletproof?
Well, I heard what Mary Lou McDonald had to say earlier, and As you said, the differences that exist between the DUP and Sinn Féin are not insurmountable, and we're very hopeful that those two parties will be able to come to an agreement this week and then include the other parties, because it's our strong view that an inclusive executive, including as many parties as possible, would be more sustainable and more beneficial for Northern Ireland as a whole. In terms of what was agreed last December in the joint report, which was agreed between the EU and the UK, bear in mind there's no relevance to that. There's the protection and preservation of the common travel area. There's maintaining the joint citizenship rights, if you like, or the reciprocity of civic rights that allow Irish and British people to live, work, study, access healthcare, housing, education in each other's countries as though we were citizens of both. It means retaining EU citizenship for people who are born here in Northern Ireland, north of the border. It also means agreements on things like peace funding and Interreg. So all of that is absolutely bulletproof. The tricky part is and always was going to be how we deliver on the commitment to avoid a hard border. The agreement made in December sets out 3 mechanisms as to how that can be done. It's very much our view that that needs to be stitched into the withdrawal agreement, the legal text of that agreement, which is now being negotiated. So that's very much on track. And it's also very much the view of both the British government and the Irish government affirmed here today that the best solution is not the backstop, as I call it, or the last resort, as Theresa May, the Prime Minister, calls it, but actually the option A, ensuring that we can have a new relationship between the UK and the EU that involves a comprehensive free trade agreement and customs arrangement that allows us to avoid not just a hard border north and south, but also new barriers to trade east and west. And we agreed that we would work together at official level on how that can be achieved. So a lot of work to do, but things are going in the right direction still.
Taoiseach, no deal today. Was it a wasted trip for you?
No, not at all. It was an opportunity to visit Belfast, which is always a pleasure, and an opportunity to meet with the Prime Minister twice, tete-a-tete, then in delegation format as well, and also an opportunity for me to meet with some of the parties, SDLP, Sinn Féin, Ulster Unionist Alliance as well. So certainly, that's always a valuable engagement.
But aren't you frustrated this is dragging on?
We have to be patient. Ultimately, if there's going to be an executive established, if the Assembly is going to get up and running again, it requires an agreement, an accommodation between the DUP and Sinn Féin, and that's something that they really need to work on themselves. Our role as a government, as co-guarantor of the Good Friday Agreement, is to provide support and facilities for that, and that's what we intend to do.
Prime Minister, what difference do you think your presence has actually made here today?
Well, I think the difference is that it has shown the commitment. I've been speaking to the parties throughout the last 13 months, engaging with them, encouraging them as they have been going through these talks. But I wanted to come and once again meet all 5 parties and talk to them about the importance of forming the executive. I believe that's the best result for the people of Northern Ireland. And I'll take a final question from the BBC.
Prime Minister, some may say that your trip today was wasted because you came over and you didn't get a deal. Will you come back later this week if you think a deal is possible in the next few days?
No, I came over today to meet with the main party leaders, to meet with all 5 parties and to encourage them, as I say, to make that final push. I believe there is the basis of an agreement here. I believe we should be able to see an executive up and running in Northern Ireland very soon. As I say, I'm clear from my conversations today, we're all fully committed to supporting this process, to doing everything we can. And when an agreement is reached in Westminster, we will legislate as soon as possible to ensure that the executive legislate as soon as possible to ensure the executive is up and running. It's important that the 2 parties, the DUP and Sinn Féin, continue their talks so that any remaining gaps can be closed and we can see this executive being formed. Thank you.